Lady Saravine sat alone in her crystal garden on the world of Orion, the endless glow of its twin moons washing the sky in soft blue light. The garden was silent except for the gentle hum of the wind chimes. She traced one elegant claw along a glassy leaf and tried not to think of her daughter. Leora had left 3 months ago to work with the human scientists on their orbiting station. At first, Saravine told herself it was only for a season, that messages would arrive every other day, that she would hardly notice the space between them. But the day stretched, messages slowed, and the palace halls grew heavy with quiet. Saravine was a matriarch known for strength. She guided trade fleets, resolved disputes between clans, and never allowed private pain to reach her silver eyes. Yet tonight she felt small. The distance between her and Leora felt like a wound. She replayed the last parting again and again. Leora's soft voice. "I'll learn so much from them, Mother." Humans believe in possibilities even when logic says no. I need to see that for myself. Saravine had smiled then, proud but afraid. The family healers had told Leora years ago that she could never carry a child. The words were final like stone. Perhaps that was why Leora loved the humans, because they refused to let stone be the last word. Now Saravine wondered if she had hidden too much of her heart. Did Leora think her mother was only a ruler and not a woman who longed for a grandchild? Did she know that Saravine's heart ached for her every day? She rose and paced the garden path. Her long gown shimmered under moonlight, but inside she felt dull. She wanted to reach across the stars, to hold Leora's hands and whisper that she was proud, that she missed her more than breath itself, yet the words stayed locked away. Messages flickered on the palace console. Saravine had written many drafts but never sent them. Each began with stiff greetings, none with the warmth she truly felt. How could a leader who commanded fleets stumble over simple love? Outside the palace, the city of Kaleth pulsed with life. Traders bargained, singers performed, and silver airships glided over glass towers. But Saravine felt apart from it all. Her world's beauty only sharpened the loneliness. She remembered when Leora was young, chasing fire sprites through the same garden. The child's laughter once filled these paths. Humans said memories were treasures. Tonight they felt like fragile blades, cutting and shining all at once. Far away, Leora worked among humans who believed that impossible things could still be tried. Saravine admired them even as she feared their restless hope. Humans dared to attempt cures where alien science had given up. They traveled the stars with nothing but courage. Humanity, Saravine thought, had a strange power. They simply refused to surrender. Perhaps that was why she missed her daughter so fiercely. Leora carried that human-like spark. She wanted to heal the broken, to defy cold predictions, and Saravine, though proud, felt left behind. The night air chilled. Saravine touched a communicator bead and almost opened a channel to the station, but she stopped. What if she sounded weak? What if she disturbed her daughter's important research? Her heart argued back. What if silence was worse? She closed her eyes and listened to the wind chimes. Their soft music reminded her of a human saying Leora once quoted, "Hope is the sound of tomorrow calling." Slowly, Saravine began to speak, recording a message. "Leora, my beloved child, I sit in our garden tonight. The moons are bright and the chimes sing like when you were small. I miss you, more than I can hide. Your courage gives me strength. I hope you feel my love across the stars." She paused, breath trembling, then pressed send before fear could steal the moment. For the first time in months, Saravine felt lighter. She had not bridged the distance completely, but she had stepped toward her daughter. Far above Orion, in the quiet hum of the research station, Leora received the message. She listened twice, heartful. She whispered back into the recorder, "Mother, I miss you too. The humans teach me that no verdict is final. I have something wonderful to share soon. Hold hope for me." Saravine's console chimed with the reply. She placed a hand over her heart as joy and worry mingled. The moon still shone, the garden still hummed, but everything felt brighter. Humanity's stubborn hope had reached across light years, stirring both mother and daughter. Saravine gazed at the stars, sensing change, sensing a miracle waiting to be born. And though she did not yet know the full truth, she felt the first quiet echo of the moment to come. Lady Saravine woke early, long before the first light of Orion's twin suns. The palace halls were quiet, filled only with the soft hum of energy lines. She held a warm cup of sky brew and reread the message Leora had sent the night before. Mother, I miss you too. The humans teach me that no verdict is final. I have something wonderful to share soon. Hold hope for me. The words glowed on the screen like a private sunrise. Saravine traced each line with her eyes again and again. Leora's voice, gentle yet full of hidden excitement, echoed in her mind. Hope. The word stayed with her as she moved through the morning rituals of a matriarch. Council members brought trade agreements. Diplomats requested her signature. Yet behind every duty, Saravine's thoughts wandered to her daughter. What was the something wonderful Leora mentioned? Was it a new discovery? A cure for rare diseases? Or something even closer to the heart? Despite the comfort of the message, Saravine still felt the ache of distance. It was not only the empty halls or the silent dinners. It was the way her heart reached for Leora's laughter and found only memory. That evening, she walked once more in the crystal garden. The moons painted the sky in silver and blue. The garden paths shimmered like rivers of light. Saravine remembered when she and Leora had walked here together, their hands brushing against the glassy leaves. She wanted to reply again, but the right words hid from her. She wished she could simply hold her daughter's hand. No speech or title could fill the space between stars. Humans believed that distance could be bridged by action, not just thought. Saravine admired that. She had seen human crews travel light years with only hope and courage. They dared the impossible again and again. Perhaps she could learn from them. The next morning, Saravine visited the interstellar port. Great silver ships waited like silent birds. She stood at the viewing deck watching humans unload supplies with cheerful shouts. Their laughter rang warm and fearless. One young pilot noticed her and offered a respectful bow. Lady Saravine, he said, your daughter works with my cousin on the station. She speaks of you often. She says your wisdom lights her path. Saravine felt her chest tighten. She speaks of me? Yes, the pilot replied with a smile. She says your strength guides her through the unknown. Warmth spread through Saravine like the first rays of dawn. Even across the stars, Leora carried her mother's love. That night, Saravine finally found the courage to send another message. She spoke softly but clearly into the recorder. Leora, the moons shine bright tonight. I walked to the port and met a young human pilot. He says you speak of me? It fills me with joy. My beloved child, your courage lights my days. Whatever wonder you wish to share, know I am ready. No verdict is final, as you say. Hope lives in us both. When the message was sent, Saravine lingered in the garden. The wind chimes played a gentle song, like a promise carried across galaxies. On the station far above Orion, Leora listened to her mother's voice. She pressed a hand to her heart and whispered, Thank you, Mother. Soon you will see why I believe in miracles. Saravine could not yet know the full truth, but for the first time the distance felt smaller. Humanity's endless hope, its belief that love can cross any distance, had already begun to bridge the space between them. Lady Saravine stood on the balcony of the palace as the morning suns rose, painting the sky in soft gold and blue. Below, the city of Kaleth glittered with life. Airships drifted like slow birds and the market hummed with cheerful voices. Yet Saravine felt an empty space inside her chest. 3 days had passed since her last message to Leora. Each evening she hoped for a reply, and each evening she found only the quiet blinking light of the console. The silence pressed on her heart like a heavy stone. She tried to fill her days with the tasks of leadership. Council members came with charts of trade routes. Engineers asked for approval of a new energy ring. But while she listened and signed documents, part of her mind stayed far away, floating among the stars where her daughter lived and worked. When night came, Saravine returned to the crystal garden. The glassy leaves reflected the twin moons. She walked slowly along the paths, remembering how Leora once ran through this same garden as a child, her laughter ringing brighter than the chimes. I miss you, my child, Saravine whispered to the silent air. The next morning she decided to do something different. Humans believed action could mend distance. They built ships to cross the endless dark and dared to explore where others feared to go. Saravine thought of their courage and felt a spark of strength. She called the interstellar port and asked for a direct connection to the research station where Leora worked. The operator bowed with surprise. It may take time, Lady Saravine, he said. The station's outer links are busy. I will wait, she replied. Hours later, a gentle chime signaled a message. It was not a live call but a recorded note from Leora. Saravane opened it with quick hands. "Mother," the voice said warmly, "I am sorry for the delay. We had long tests with the human doctors. They are helping me study something wonderful. I cannot explain yet, but I am healthy and full of hope. Please trust me a little longer." Saravane closed her eyes and listened again. Healthy, wonderful, hope. The words wrapped around her like a soft cloak. Still, she felt the sharp edge of distance. She wanted to hold Leora's hand, to see her eyes shine when she spoke, but at least she knew her daughter was safe and full of secret joy. That evening, Saravane went once more to the port. She stood near the viewing deck where great human ships gleamed like silver fish. She watched crews laughing as they repaired a hull, their voices warm and fearless even in the cold of space. A human engineer noticed her. "Lady Saravane," he said kindly, "your daughter is an inspiration to many here. She speaks of you with such love." Saravane felt her heart lift. "Thank you," she said. "Your people's hope gives her courage and gives me courage as well." The engineer smiled. "Humans believe there is always a way forward. Your daughter believes it too. That is powerful." When Saravane returned to the palace, she recorded a message with calm strength. "My beloved Leora," she began, "I heard your voice today and it fills me with peace. Whatever wonder you prepare, I trust you completely. Humans teach us that no distance is too great for love. You carry that lesson and you teach it to me. I wait with open arms and a hopeful heart." She sent the message and felt a quiet brightness settle over her. The ache of separation remained, but hope now glowed within it like a small sun. Far away on the research station, Leora listened to her mother's words and smiled through happy tears. She placed a gentle hand over her stomach, feeling the first signs of the miracle she would soon share. Lady Saravane rose before dawn, the palace still wrapped in silver darkness. She moved through silent halls until she reached the crystal garden, where the twin moons were fading into the first soft light of morning. The chimes whispered in the cool air, and she thought of her daughter's voice. It had been several days since Leora's last message. Saravane replayed it often, the words hold faith echoing in her mind. She longed to see her child's face, to feel her presence beside her, yet the stars between them stretched wide, and no ship could close the distance fast enough. Throughout the day, she tried to bury her thoughts in the duties of a matriarch. Counselors brought news of trade disputes, engineers asked for her decision on energy grids, and diplomats requested her judgment on new agreements. She gave careful answers, but her heart drifted beyond the palace walls toward the distant research station where her only child worked among humans. By evening, she felt the weight of longing more than ever. She walked again to the port, where great ships gleamed like silver birds against the night. Human crews laughed and worked side by side, their voices bright even in the chill air. Saravane paused near the viewing deck and watched a small group of humans repairing a shuttle. They moved with quiet confidence, unafraid of the endless dark. Their courage reminded her of Leora's words. No verdict is final. Humans always seemed to believe that love and action could overcome any barrier. A familiar voice interrupted her thoughts. "Lady Saravane," said the young human pilot she had met earlier. He smiled warmly. "Your daughter sends greetings through a friend on the station. She said she is safe and learning much." The pilot's message eased some of the tightness in Saravane's chest. "Thank you," she replied. "Your people carry hope as if it is light itself," he nodded. "Hope keeps us moving even when we can't see the end of the journey." When she returned to the palace, Saravane sat by the communicator and began to speak before fear could stop her. "My beloved Leora," she said, her voice gentle but steady, "I met a human pilot who brought me word of you. It fills me with peace to know you are safe. I think of you each day as the moons rise and fall. You have taught me that hope is stronger than distance. I wait with love and trust for the wonder you are preparing." She sent the message and stayed beside the console long after the light faded from the sky. 2 days later, a new chime sounded. Saravane hurried to the screen. Leora's image appeared soft and bright. "Mother," Leora said, her eyes glowing with quiet joy, "your words reach me like a warm light. We are close to finishing something extraordinary. I can't explain yet, but please keep faith. Your love guides me more than you know." Saravane touched the screen as if she could hold her daughter's hand. "I am with you, my child," she whispered to the image. The connection ended, but Saravane felt a steady warmth inside her. The distance between them was still vast, yet hope filled the space like starlight. That night she stood in the crystal garden and looked up at the endless sky. The chimes sang softly and the stars seemed to shimmer closer than before. Far away, Leora pressed a hand to her heart and to the gentle curve of her stomach. "Soon, Mother," she whispered. "Soon you will see the miracle." Though separated by galaxies, both mother and daughter felt the same quiet truth. Love, strengthened by human courage, could bridge any distance. And the moment was drawing near when the alien matriarch would gasp as her beloved daughter defied all odds and expected a child. Lady Saravine walked slowly through the crystal garden as the evening sky shifted from deep blue to a soft silver glow. The twin moons of Orion rose higher, scattering light across the glassy leaves. Each chime of the garden bells reminded her of her daughter, Leora, and of how long it had been since they last spoke. A week had passed since Leora's last message. Saravine had listened to that short recording many times, memorizing every gentle word. "We are close to finishing something extraordinary. Please keep faith. Your love guides me more than you know." Those words warmed her, but they also made the waiting harder. Saravine wanted more than a brief message. She wanted to see Leora's face, to feel her presence and hear the music of her laugh. She wanted to hold her daughter's hand and know for certain that all was well. The day had been full of meetings and visitors, but Saravine felt as though she had been drifting through shadows. Trade ministers presented new contracts. Farmers requested aid after an unexpected storm. She answered each concern with calm wisdom, yet her thoughts floated beyond the palace walls, across the silent stars to the research station, where her daughter worked with the humans. When the final meeting ended, she dismissed her attendants and returned to the balcony. From there, she watched the silver lines of human starships rise into the night. Their engines flared like small suns, symbols of courage and determination. Humans fascinated her. They carried hope as if it was as natural as breath. They traveled across dangerous space because they believed love, curiosity, and action could defeat even the cold silence of the universe. It was this human spirit, she knew, that had drawn Leora to the research station, and that now gave Saravine strength to wait. The next morning, Saravine decided to act. Waiting in silence was not enough. Humans believed that love must move forward even when the path was unclear. She contacted the interstellar port and requested a direct link to the research station. The operator bowed respectfully and promised to send her request. Hours passed without a reply. Saravine sat near the console, her long gown trailing across the floor, her eyes fixed on the blinking lights. She thought of Leora as a small child, running through the crystal garden with arms wide. Catching the light of the moons in her bright hair, she whispered, "My child, wherever you are, feel my love." That evening she walked to the city's highest tower, a place where she and Leora used to watch the night sky together. From there, the stars stretched like a jeweled ocean. She remembered Leora's favorite saying, a human phrase she had once repeated with a smile. "Hope is the sound of tomorrow calling." Saravine closed her eyes and listened. The wind around the tower carried a faint musical hum, almost like an answer. 2 days later, a message finally arrived. Saravine hurried to the console, her heart racing. Leora's face appeared, soft and radiant. "Mother," Leora said, her voice full of gentle excitement, "I am well and safe. The humans and I have made a discovery that could change many lives. I still cannot explain everything, but soon I will return home. Please wait just a little longer. Your strength and love guide me every day." Saravine touched the screen as if she could reach across the stars. "I wait with love," she whispered after the message ended. The days that followed felt brighter. Saravine continued her duties, but now her heart was lighter. She found herself speaking more warmly to her council and laughing with the palace staff. Even the crystal garden seemed to shine with a new glow. Still, she longed to hold her daughter again. She missed the sound of her laughter and the way her presence filled a room with warmth, but she also felt something powerful, hope as steady as the moons above. She began to notice small acts of courage around her. A young gardener worked late into the night to save a delicate plant from an unexpected frost. A human pilot repaired a broken ship wing with calm determination. Each simple act reminded her of the lesson humanity taught, that love and action, no matter how small, could push back against fear and distance. One quiet evening, as she walked the garden path, Saravine saw a small gathering near the port below. Humans and Orions stood together, sharing food and stories. Their laughter floated up to the palace like bright music. She realized then that her daughter was not alone. The humans around Leora were not just colleagues. They were friends who believed in miracles. That belief had already reached Seravine's heart, carrying her through the long nights of waiting. Later that night, Seravine recorded another message. Her voice was steady and warm. "My beloved Leora," she began, "I look at the stars and feel you near. I see courage in every human who crosses the dark sky, and I see it in you. Whatever wonder you bring home, know that I trust you completely. Our love is stronger than distance, and I wait with joy in my heart." She sent the message and stayed in the garden as the twin moons climbed high. Their light bathed the crystal leaves in silver. The chimes sang softly, like a promise carried across the universe. Far above, on the research station, Leora listened to her mother's words. She pressed a hand to her heart and another to the gentle curve of her stomach. "Soon, mother," she whispered, tears shining in her eyes. "Soon you will know the miracle we created." Though galaxies apart, mother and daughter felt the same unshakable truth. Love, strengthened by the brave hope humans inspired, could cross any distance, and Seravine knew deep within her soul that the day was near when the alien matriarch would gasp as her beloved daughter defied all odds and expected a child. Lady Seravine awoke to the soft shimmer of dawn over Kaleth. The twin suns painted the crystal towers in pale gold, and the morning chimes drifted through the palace halls like gentle bells. She rose from her bed with a quiet breath, her thoughts already reaching across the stars to her daughter. Another week had passed. Leora's last message still played in Seravine's mind. "I will return soon. Please wait a little longer." The words filled her with hope, but the silence since then left a hollow space in her heart. Seravine tried to steady herself with duty. She led council meetings, signed agreements, and heard petitions from merchants and farmers. Yet behind every conversation was the ache of distance. She listened politely, but her mind floated far beyond Orion, to the research station where her only child worked among humans and whispered of a wonder that might change their lives. That evening, she went to the crystal garden. The moons were high, scattering silver light across the glassy leaves. The chimes sang in the cool air. Seravine stood very still, remembering how Leora once ran through these paths, laughing like the music of water. "My beloved child," she murmured to the night, "I miss you." She closed her eyes and felt the quiet around her, imagining her daughter's smile. It was a bittersweet comfort. 2 days later, a new message arrived. Seravine's heart leapt as she opened it. "Mother," Leora's voice came through warm and bright. "We are almost ready. The humans here have done something I once thought impossible. I cannot share the details until I see you in person. But know this, I am healthy and there is a miracle growing inside me, one that belongs to us both. I will come home very soon." Seravine's breath caught. "A miracle growing inside me." The word sparked a sudden, breathtaking thought. Could it be? Her mind flashed back to the old healer's verdict years ago, that Leora would never bear a child. But humans believed no verdict was final, and Leora had always carried that human-like spark of determination. Seravine pressed a trembling hand to her chest. Joy and wonder filled her like light spilling through a window. The next morning she went to the interstellar port. The wide hangars buzzed with activity. Humans and Orions worked side by side, preparing ships for long journeys. Seravine found herself watching their bright faces and easy laughter. Their courage seemed to fill the air. A familiar voice greeted her. It was the young human pilot she had met before. "Lady Seravine," he said with a smile, "I heard news from the station. Your daughter is traveling home soon. Everyone here is excited for her return." Seravine felt her heart swell. "Thank you," she said. "Your people carry hope like a lantern in the dark. I have learned from that light." The pilot nodded. "Hope is our best engine. It carries us farther than any fuel." Back at the palace, Seravine walked to the balcony overlooking the city. The evening sky glowed with thousands of stars. She began to speak softly into her communicator. "My beloved Leora," she said, "your words fill me with wonder. Whatever miracle you bring, I am ready. I have learned from the humans around you. Love and hope can cross any distance. My arms and heart are open. Come home when you can. I will be waiting under the twin moons." She sent the message and remained on the balcony as night deepened. The stars looked closer than ever. as if they leaned toward her with quiet joy. Days later, another message came, short but full of excitement. Mother, our ship departs tomorrow. I will see you soon. Keep the garden lights burning for me. Saravine felt tears prick her eyes. She ordered the gardeners to line the crystal paths with thousands of tiny star lamps so that the garden would shine like a constellation. When the evening of Leora's arrival finally came, Saravine dressed in soft silver robes and walked through the glowing garden. The air was cool and fragrant, the chimes singing a gentle welcome. Her heart raced with anticipation. From the high balcony she watched a single starship descend, its lights gleaming against the dark sky. The craft settled on the landing field beyond the garden, sending a warm breeze across the crystal leaves. The ramp opened. Leora appeared, her figure graceful and strong. Saravine hurried forward, her eyes bright with tears. Mother, Leora said, her voice trembling with happiness. Saravine embraced her, feeling the living warmth of her child after so many lonely months. She pulled back slightly and looked into Leora's shining eyes, and then she saw it. Leora's hands rested on her gently rounded stomach. Mother, Leora whispered, the humans helped me. They found a way. I am carrying a child. For a moment Saravine could only gasp, a sound caught between a sob and a laugh. All the years of sorrow, the old healer's verdict, the long distance, the silence, everything melted into pure wonder. You are expecting a child? Saravine said, her voice full of awe. Yes, Leora said, tears shining like starlight. A miracle we created together with hope and human science. No verdict is final. Saravine held her daughter close, the weight of love and joy nearly overwhelming her. She looked up at the endless sky, feeling the power of human determination and the unbreakable bond between mother and child. That night, mother and daughter walked the crystal garden side by side, the lamps glowing like captured stars. The wind chimes played their soft music as Saravine listened to Leora describe the gentle, brave humans who had made this miracle possible. The distance that had once felt like an endless void had vanished. Love and hope, strengthened by human courage, had bridged the space between worlds. Saravine smiled through happy tears, knowing she would remember this night forever. The night when the alien matriarch gasped as her beloved daughter defied all odds and expected a child.